What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the latest episode of another Disney podcast.
Yeah, we are on time. It is 2024. This is part 2. Let's do this, guys.
Yes, and we have the same cast of usual suspects. It's me, Rob the Fuzz, and Brandon.
Thank you. Like, you made yours sound
That was
super,
really so lame.
You made yours sound super exciting.
No.
Rob the Fuzz got like the fanfare and the fireworks, and then you were like,
God.
"Oh, we got Brandon."
And then Eeyore.
Awesome.
This is clearly why. Look, if it's a secret to everybody who listens to this podcast, is that I'm really heartbroken that I can't do the open, but it just clearly appeared as to why I don't do the open.
I just want Brandon to do it. He does it so damn good. So
Dave would be like, "Hey guys, welcome to Disney podcast."
Right. Oh yeah, and Brandon. But Rob the Fuzz is here, and Brandon. Okay, we just saw each other a few days ago. We're getting a little bit ahead because somebody is super lucky enough to go to the Disney of the world.
The Disney of the world.
I'm jealous.
So we're going to be gone during our typical recording time, as if we have a typical recording time, because it's always all over the place.
There's no such thing as a typical recording time with these.
Oh man,
I'm jealous, Dave, because like traditionally that's my birthday week, and I've been to Disney World. I don't know, probably 10 times during that exact period you're going.
Well,
very jealous.
We feel like Brandon. Is this a good time to tell him about the surprise?
Yeah, I think you should tell him.
Rob, you need to connect with your family because Brandon has offered to fly and put you up the week that I'm there. So
nice,
right.
Thank you, Brandon.
The house will be completely empty, so you
appreciate.
Feel free to come.
That's right.
Oh
God, too funny. Yeah, you can Airbnb it, make some money.
That's right. It's illegal in our neighborhood. Stupid Florida. Actually, in all of Orange County where we live, it is illegal to Airbnb.
Oh, because people would buy houses to literally do that for proximity to the world. There you go. That's something I did not know.
Did
not know. But yeah, we'll be there. We leave today. We're recording this. I don't even know what the day of the week is. Tuesday, but it is January 16th. It is Tuesday, right?
It is Tuesday.
Okay. So we leave a week from this Thursday. Gonna head down, get there pretty early, but we don't have a part. We're not going to the park. So we're gonna go hang out the Springs. Got my son a gift card to Lego. They just opened a Lego store here, but I was like, he opened it at Christmas. I was like, we can take that to the much bigger store at Disney. Like they open it in Town Center and it's like barely bigger than a Starbucks. And I'm like, why is this here? But it is cool in our city.
It is called the Lego store. It's not called the Legos store.
That's right. That's right. They just got one.
Dad jokes for the win.
Right. Hey, I think I saw something like newsworthy that was worth talking about. Oh, Matthew. Everybody remember Matthew? Remember the Matthews? Yeah. He sent me something really cool. So has Farts officially started?
Farts has officially started. And if you're watching us on YouTube, you see my latest purchase from the Farts. It is, in fact, the Imagination Pavilion popcorn bucket. It's much cooler than I thought. I really didn't think that I was going to want it until I saw it. And hey, bonus, I just learned that it does this flashy light thing, so that makes it even cooler.
Rob, will you please be kind to my grandmother who has no idea what Farts is? Would you please enlighten her as to what Farts is?
Festival of the Arts in EPCOT.
Yes. Out of all of the, what do they have now? 76 festivals at EPCOT?
I think
this
it's
one by
78.
far. 78. This one by far is my favorite. And
I want to know the statistic, how many days of the year that there actually is not a festival in EPCOT. So
it's 8 hours. It's how many, so every time they change over, they do it during how many hours are they closed? So 11 to a little bit more. So a day and a half or 2 days. We'll call it 2 days.
I think there's a couple days between each festival. You got the Farts, you got the Flower and Garden, you got I saw something today that may be a new summer festival coming because Flower and Garden is stopping a month earlier than it usually does. So there's all this speculation that they're going to try to come up with some other festival between Flower and Garden and Food and Wine. Like they keep pushing Food and Wine earlier and earlier, but you can't really have Food and Wine. The ultimate fall festival start in July. So there's got to be something from like June to September. So word is they may be coming up with a new festival. I don't know though.
Wow. Summer Jam. It's the Summer Jam Vans Tour.
There'll be skateboard parks all over the World Showcase. It'll be amazing.
But Matthew sent me. I love Festival of the Arts for so many reasons. Brandon actually sent me a picture of some artwork that they got. You don't know if you can see it, but oh yeah, both of that. Oh, nice. Both of that is bought and signed by the artists at Farts. So I'm gonna have to give me some more. So, but why I got excited is Matthew sent me a link. If you haven't been there, they do these cool things where they put these artsy fartsy kind of related things all across the park for photo ops. Some of them will have a cast member, some of them will not. Yeah. And like you could get into like a world famous painting and like they're kind of fun, and they're huge. George Washington crossing the Delaware, I've won with me and Micaiah standing on the front of the boat looking out. Like, so there's some really cool ones, but the one that has me the most excited is one I've never seen before. They have a still life-size print that you can jump into of Mary Poppins. It's when they're out. It's when he dances with the penguins. Yep. So they have that scene with the little empty table. So you'll be able to go in and I don't know, do what? I guess I'll dance like the penguins. I don't have any cool penguin pants, but I'm so excited for that.
I can in fact confirm it was there. We were there on Saturday. So it is set up when you're walking from Spaceship Earth and the new Festival Gardens. And if you walk straight towards World Showcase, kind of where you can go left to go to the Odyssey, there's 3 or 4 of them set up there for picture opportunities. And I did see the Mary Poppins one over there. And I was like, oh my God, they have the penguins.
Yep. They in the past, they've been all throughout, mostly like there was a French Renaissance artist and there was one in front of, so I don't know if that's still the case or if they're just all stockpiled over there by that pathway that Brandon was just talking about. Either way, I'm stoked for that one. Whatever else one is there is just bonus.
Yes.
That's all I got. That's my fun news story. That is only fun for me. Like, cool, man. Mary Poppins is like 78 years old. I don't know why this is exciting news, Dave. Moving on. All right. We are continuing, as Rob said, part two.
Part 2.
I don't remember what we called it, but it's in the last podcast name. What the keys to your great 2024?
Did it rhyme with 24? Like,
yes. What to watch for? And I don't remember the name.
It's always fun coming up with the title of the show.
I don't remember what it was called. What something
so sad
for? God, we're awesome.
Yeah, it's the continuation of the last podcast.
What's in store for 24 at Walt Disney World?
There it is. Today's part. So without further ado, I hate that phrase. So without further ado, let's dive in without further ado. Okay. If you haven't been, and there are still a few people that haven't been since the changeover from Fast Pass to Disney Plus, Brandon's going to unpack it because he understands Genie Plus really well.
I understand Disney Plus as well.
But there is some news and changes coming to it, but I'll talk about afterwards. But let's have Brandon unpack it. So if you haven't been and experienced Genie Plus, it sounds like
Genie Plus is the replacement to the free Fast Pass system. Now it is something that you would have to purchase at the time of or before you head to a park. Depending on the day, it has surge pricing, and it could be anywhere from $22 to $38 depending on the park. The highest I saw was just this Christmas time. I think it was $39 for the Magic Kingdom, which was crazy. I'm not sure anybody why you would pay that, but Genie Plus is just what you pay for in order to pre-select your attractions that you can attend during the day or ride during the day. Genie Plus is the service for a majority of the rides there. And then there's individual lightning lanes that you can purchase. We used to call those Fast Pass lanes. Now you just pay for them. There's several rides at each park that you can individually pay for without paying for the whole Genie Plus system that gets you to the front of the line. So that is the gist of it. Hopefully you've been there since Genie Plus started. It's a great addition. I just don't like paying $40 for it.
Yeah, that's pretty steep. Thankfully, that's hopefully holiday pricing, but I don't know. It's a new year. We'll see. When I was there in November, early November, Mackay and I came the first week. We bought it every day that we went to a park, and we got it for multiple parks, and it was $25 per person per day. It was a little bit cheaper, except for Magic Kingdom. If you like, it might have been like $22 for Epcot, but we had she had a park hopper. So it just made sense for us to purchase it so we could, no matter where we went, we had that fast pass service at whatever park we went to.
How does that work out if you have a park hopper and you buy it for Epcot and you go to Magic Kingdom where it's more money?
You have the option when you're choosing it to buy for the park that you're going to that day, or you can spend a few dollars more. And it really was like $3 to $5 more. It wasn't insane, where it would work at all 4 parks that day.
Okay. It's a genie hopper, if you will.
There you go. That is now available before 2 p.m.
I'm going to copyright that. Hold on.
Don't steal that, Disney.
And without further ado, I will unpack the giant changes that are coming. So here's what we got. So it has existed. It's not great. It's great that you have it because, like Brandon said, you need it. And let's be clear. When Brandon says you get to skip to the front of the line, that means you wait 30 to 45 minutes instead of 60 to 90 minutes. That's basically what that means.
Correct.
But it is definitely a time saver. You know, like if you can knock off 45 minutes off of your ride to just, and yeah, that's just true. Like we would use it for stuff that didn't have a wait, just because like the stuff that we wanted was too further along in the day. Once we expired through our, like you could just keep picking them like you could. Back in the day, you could pick you had your 3 fast passes for the day, and then you could just keep picking one at a time as long as they were available. Same concept, except you can't pick multiple up front, but as you use one, you can then go to the next one. Sometimes there's like an hour-ish in between. It fluctuates. But what's great, as you get later into the day, some of the stuff is like, you know, it could be like 4 o'clock, and the next available like thing for Rise of the Resistance might not be till like, not Rise, that's not one of them, but Millennium Falcon may be, Smuggler's Run may be like 9:40, right? Well, you don't want to wait, so you just pick something else. Maybe something else, even though it's a walk-on, you just use it. Or if it has a 10 or 15 minute wait, you just use it, because then it truly is a walk-on. Did that make sense, Brandon?
It did. It did. And the thing that you also can do, if you're not planning on going to the park until later, is select the attraction that you really want to do. And then while you're still at work or at home or traveling to Disney, you can do what's called stack your lightning lane passes, so that when you get there, it's attraction. Yeah. So that is also a way to take advantage of it. I saw a guy the other day on the Facebook group, amazing stacking. Like he didn't get to Hollywood Studios until about 3 o'clock. And so from like 3 o'clock to 9 o'clock, he had 10 different attractions.
I didn't know you could do that.
You can. There's a time. So the way you have to do it, there's a time between your selections. So say I'm going to the park tonight, but I'm not going until 6 o'clock. And I really want to get on Smuggler's Run. And there's like Dave said, a 9 o'clock. I select that. Then I have a certain amount of time before I can pick another one, right? So say 2 hours goes by, I'm still at work. I know I'm getting there at 6. At 6 o'clock, Star Tours opens. So I pick Star Tours. My time is still running, right? It's still going. I'm still not at the park. Then I see, there's a 6:30 Toy Story. I pick 6:30 Toy Story. Let the time run. And then by the time you get to the park, you have all of these Genie Plus lightning lane things stacked up. Yeah, so you can do it. It's hard to do it if you're going to be at the park all day.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, thanks for the explanation. Now for the exciting news. Disney has announced that there are changes coming to Genie Plus, and I think these changes are going to be welcome. I'm just kidding, because literally the news the news is stay tuned for more info. You're welcome.
That's so
You're
funny.
welcome.
You're welcome.
It is the Disney way. Yes.
True Disney fashion. It's either stay tuned for more or coming winter 2024.
I will give a sneak peek. The truth is it's going to allow guests to plan more in advance. So basically I don't know what that means. But as of right now, Brandon, help me fumble my way through this. If you have a park, well, if you're a pass holder and have a park reservation for tomorrow, you cannot buy it until midnight.
Correct.
And then you can't pick anything until 7 a.m.
Correct.
Is that correct so far?
May be park open.
Yeah, it could be 9 a.m.
If you're staying on property, you can pick at 7.
Yeah. 7 a.m. I think is the paid lightning lane.
Yeah. If you're not on property, I think whenever the park opens, you can do your first selection.
So maybe at midnight they're going to let us buy it and pick. Again, do not take this in stone. You know our history of predictions sure to go wrong. So don't even
correct.
But I mean, I would like. I don't know. I don't want to agree. I don't want to agree. Anything better than the day of is going to be better.
Yeah.
But
I'm hoping
they
let you do it a week ahead of time or something.
Yeah. What if it's like 4 o'clock the day before? Then you like interrupt your vacation day to have to freaking work. Like, no, I'm not hopeful. But hopefully they choose a wise time slot. I don't know.
Rob, you haven't been there since Genie Plus, or have
No, I've used it. Yeah, definitely.
What have you thought? I mean, I know it's like we can't compare it to FastPass anymore, but like as you've used it, how did you feel about the usability? Was it easy? Did you like the options?
Yeah, I decided to do it last minute, the Magic Kingdom. I think we went to the first attraction and we're like, yeah, we need this. So it was good. It's the only park I used it for was Magic Kingdom. And it was, to me, it was a little confusing. Even with the app, I'm a geek and I can do apps really well, but it took me a while to kind of figure out there's a middle button there. Like, I'm like, how did I miss that? And I had a lot of issues with it too, but we got going with it. And, it was, there was a couple things I couldn't get. And now that I have these hacks from Brandon, I think I'm going to do a lot better next time. But like, I think like Big Thunder, we couldn't get on. We had to wait. And there was a couple of things I just couldn't get, which was annoying. But
yeah, you still.
I generally liked it. So
I think it's fair to say, Brandon, there's still great value in pounding the app. If you don't know what that means, that used to be with like you just like close it, open it, refresh it, or refresh the page, and sometimes one will pop up. Like let's just say you ride and you have your last one, and you can pick again, and you're like, man, the next one that I really want to ride is not till like for 2.5 hours.
Yep.
Well, you might get lucky and see it like, oh, and it pops up and it's like 45 minutes from now. Yeah. So there's definitely value in as you're either in line or resting or at a meal, it is worth taking out your phone, open up the app and just keep open and close and open and close and open and close. Not the app, like refreshing. Yeah. I think there's great value in that.
Yeah. And I mean, to be honest, we're all on our phones all the time anyway. So just put your fingers to use and pound the app. I usually do it when I'm in line. I mean, you're going to wait for 45 minutes in line. You could try to get a better time for your next attraction.
Sure.
Don't live in the moment. Live on your phone. It's much better.
Yeah, correct. Don't pay attention to the world around you.
Okay, next. There are, since you've been, there may be a plethora of new ways to, air quotes, tap into the park. And so what that means is you can still get it's not a paper ticket anymore. Like if you go to guest relations and buy a ticket that day, you still get a hard card, right? Isn't it still physically a plastic hard card, Brandon?
Yep.
But there are multiple ways rather than getting a hard card, like especially if you buy it online previous to going in, or even if you buy it like in the moment. So Magic Bands are not new, but obviously we know they've been around for years. But you can also put your Magic Mobile Pass into your wallet app on your iPhone. I'm assuming there's the equivalent for Android users. Sorry, none of us use Androids. And then, of course, that also transpires to your Apple Watch. So they kind of go hand in hand. You can either like open it up on your phone. Maybe I have them physically on my phone and I can show you.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite things that they did is incorporate that into your Apple Watch. Because I remember when it first came out, the big thing was like, how do I wear an Apple Watch and a Magic Band at the same time? Do I wear them on my same wrist? Do I look weird? Then they invented the little puck that goes on the Apple Watch band that looked weird, but now it's
I never knew about that one.
You use your Apple Watch like a Magic Band. It's amazing.
It's true. And we will still wear our magic band because we're those people.
Correct.
We are Disney fanatics. Now, the funny thing about all this is more of Disney's way of being touchless, like, or contactless, getting into the parks. However, everyone in God's creation still has to touch the fingerprint. So I don't know. That is the opposite of contactless.
Come on, they got that spray there. They spray between fingers.
Oh yeah, between every 30,000 people.
Exactly.
So, but yeah, they're like, and okay, I'm reading here, Apple Watch or other smart devices. So I'm assuming that's going to be I don't want to assume. I don't know any other like smart devices on the Android. So I don't even know if Galaxy Watch, is that a thing? I'm pretending like I know anything besides Apple.
Galaxy.
And of course you can still do, and you can do it through the app, which still is like, if you have it in the app, you're better to just put it in your Apple Wallet and just use if you have to use the phone, just double tap like you're going to go to pay something and you'll have your card there. You have to do all that legwork before you get there. Don't stand in line where there's 77 people in your line and you're like, what do I need to do? Because I always pick that line.
Yep.
Oh yeah, 100%. Like we went to EPCOT on Saturday and like they have the big sign for annual pass holders. Here's my word of advice. Don't ever go to that line. No one who has an annual pass lives in Florida and has any idea what they're doing when they get to the scan. So don't go to that line.
No. We used to always know. I make this joke every time. We used to always know, like, who not to get behind or who like didn't know how to plan a vacation, because they'd bring all 17 of their family and every one of them had a gray magic band, because that's the default. That's the default color you get if you didn't like pre-plan your vacation. And you're like, and you all get magic band. That was when they were free. And it's just like, oh Lord, they all got the gray. They weren't ready.
I still have my if there was big, it was always like the Incredibles on the box, like what's her name, the mother was always on the box, like Elastigirl for like 4 trips in a row. They didn't change the artwork and they put your little Deem on there. So
I miss that. Like I miss booking a trip to Disney and then you get the Disney package in the mail and you open it up and your bands are like, oh, there's like music comes out of it.
Oh wait, here it comes.
It does that.
That's what it did.
It opens up magically, and then you get all excited about your trip, and now they're like, well, if you want it, you can spend $60.
Yeah. Last time I had to go on eBay and I got 4, 50th anniversary magic bands for the family, and I think that's what we all had. So, but they were nice. Confusing because of the same. I wrote their names on them.
It was the cost of a car payment, but you all got special ones.
Oh, they were.
Just kidding. So yeah, lots of ways to do. Okay. This one I think we've talked about a lot, because I don't know that I would call ourselves a planning podcast, but we certainly do sprinkle that in a lot, if not most of our episodes. And 2024 is yet another year where really more than ever, you need to plan your time in the parks. Sadly, unless you go as often as Brandon, gone are the days of, let's just show up and be spontaneous and have fun. You can still do a little bit of spontaneity, like decide what quick service you're going to go to.
And you can't even really do that anymore. You have to mobile order. So you got to plan that.
So kidding. But it's imperative for 3 reasons. I just made that up. I have to think of 3. Number 1, put myself on the spot. This will be fun. You guys judge me. This is going to be great. Number 1, the planning will help you maximize your day or get the most out of your day. So there's it. 2, it will help, especially if you're a family that likes, your kids are a little older and you like to divide and conquer. Like if the kids want to go and like, yeah, we're cool enough to go without the parents for half a day or whatever. So that is going to need to and then you're probably going to have to meet up for said rides that you all have your Genie Plus set up for. And 3, Brandon's going to tell us what the third option is.
And the third option of why it's so important that you plan your time in the parks is that so you maximize your time in the parks. That's all I got.
That's already said that. Dang it.
No, I always like to look at like what's that website where they have the different plans and planning it out, and you map it out and everything. And this is it's best to ride Peter Pan first in the morning, and it's better to ride this later in the time. You maximize your time. You're very limited. So
yeah.
Yeah.
I think another way to say it, like we used to talk about this on planning for the magic, is it's probably not best for mom to pick all of the rides if mom is a super like into princesses, because you'll ride like Big Thunder Mountain will not make the list. And if you're, so I think it's important to strategize as a team, as a family, to say, hey, what rides are most important to us? And so that's the third way.
Yes. And that's what we always say when people come to visit, right? Because they're always like, what should we do? And like we always say, we live here. Like, so tell, like, give me the 3 most important things you want to do in the park today. Whether that's eat at a particular restaurant, see a particular show, get on a particular attraction. And I think that that's what you have to do. And that's how you have to attack every day that you go. You say, hey, we're going to EPCOT tomorrow. We have 8 people. We can't satisfy all 8 people all day.
Right.
So let's come up with the top 3 things that all 8 of us want to do and make sure that we get that done. And then we can split up, divide and conquer. You 4 go drink around the world. You guys go to Frozen because you have something wrong with you. And we'll go to Soarin'. But I think it's important that you do, if you're going to come as a family,
That's great. I think we lost Brandon, or did we?
We did, yeah.
Oh, he's still silent. Hey, but I'll tell you what he said. It was, you should plan.
Oh, the thing I was thinking about was touring plans. I love touring plans. I don't know if
that's a paid service. I don't know how much it is now, but yeah, Lynn Testa and the gang over there does an incredible job. I definitely used to.
He's
we used
muted
that twice. Yeah. Oh, did I do that? Oh, now he's unmuted.
Back now?
There you are.
Sorry. Hey, you're back.
Well, I'm glad I talked 8 minutes and no one heard me.
No, we just missed the last 20 seconds.
Yeah, 20 seconds. I'm sorry, folks. He just he went into like this crazy tirade with tons of cuss words, and I just had to mute him. I don't know what he was so angry about.
Stupid plan.
But yeah, you're right. Definitely.
Well, if you don't plan, it's going to be bad.
Yeah, people like somebody in your party, if not multiple people, will be really frustrated, right? Because it's just like especially if dad is like, I want to ride Seven Dwarfs. It's my favorite movie. It's my favorite ride. And like, if everybody has to go, like, you may spend 2.5 hours in that line. You could have, with the right planning, and you get there at the right time of day, you could ride like 4 to 7 attractions in the time that, like, I know that seems like in today. Oh yeah. You get there at rope drop. Definitely. And yeah. Well, if you get there at rope drop, you should absolutely get in line for Seven Dwarfs Mine Train, but it could still already be an hour wait because people who stay on property, as we talked about last episode, will have already been there for 30 minutes.
Yeah. And then there's some of those rare rides, maybe the obscure ones that some people want to do, they close early,
Yeah, that's true.
You got to be careful with that too.
Rob, I was going to ask you, you have, the last time you guys went as a crew, you have the oldest kids of our crew. And so what is that like, especially with teenagers when it comes to planning?
My kids are great. They're big Disney fans. The younger one, he was 12 at the time. My wife really, how do I put this? He went on every roller coaster. By the time we went to Universal first, he went on a Velocicoaster. He went on a lot of the Hulk, a lot of rough coasters. And by the time we got to the Magic Kingdom, he just kind of shied off a little bit, like even like Space Mountain. He didn't really want to do anything anymore with some of the roller coasters. So, and the other one, he's a little bit tamer. He doesn't like fast rides, roller coasters. And I'm getting a little older, unfortunately. Kind of had to, hang my coat up too. So we sat it out, which is fine. So that's another thing too. Like if there's some more intense rides that other people can't do, you kind of just, plan it out where what we did while they were on the roller coasters, whatever. But worked out good. My nephew went last time too. And yeah, it was good. So we worked it out. So it's all good.
multi-generational families when you go. It's great because the one that's in the wheelchair, wow, the one that's in the stroller, same concept. The one that's in the stroller, like grandpa can watch him if he doesn't like to ride rides. But yeah, that's a good point. I didn't think about like another reason why you need to strategize as a team, as a family, as a group is like mama might not want to ride Space Mountain, right? And so, like, let's not make that a priority of the day and like just exclude mama right off the top. That's not a win. But yeah, good insight. Yeah, like I'm right there with you, Rob. My daughter rode Everest, which I love, 5 times in a row. And all I could do was bookend. I did the 1st and the 5th. And after that, I was ready to go lie down.
Yeah, for sure.
So I am not the spring chicken. So I feel you there.
Okay, I just thought of another real quick one, Dave. You got to remember too, when you go to Disney, you're walking a marathon by the time, and you really got to plan. And I think I made this mistake all the time. We always save Magic Kingdom for last. I'm not sure why. And by day 5 or 6, we're like exhausted. So, you got to really pace yourself. Make sure you're going to do a lot of walking. I think I averaged 30 to 40 miles of walking a day when we were there. So it was just crazy. Yeah, definitely. And Epcot is the killer, as everyone knows too. So
yeah,
keep that in mind. You take a rest in the afternoon, and if you're local, go to the hotel or whatever, or you gotta plan that out. So.
And that's one of the downfalls we talked about between Fast Pass and Genie Plus, right? Fast Pass, you could plan and you could say, let's start in Tomorrowland and then go to, Dumbo's Circus and then hit Fantasyland. Now you could be like, hey, I got my Genie Plus at Pirates. Now we got Dumbo. Now we got Big Thunder. Now we got Space Mountain. So I think Genie Plus has caused significantly higher amounts of walking than when we had Fast Pass.
And my family hates that when we crisscross the park because
I know it's the worst.
I know we did that in the freezing cold rain with Dave when we were there last year in April. Like, it was miserable and it was cold and it was pouring rain. And we're like, great, now we have to go to Jungle Cruise. Great, now we have our Tron. Great, now we got Big Thunder. Like, it was awful.
Yeah, we were all over the place for sure. Okay, in that same vein, we've touched on this, but let's unpack it a little further so there's clarity. It's very important that you understand how to make, we'll call them reservations for your more in-demand rides. And what that really means is there are now several attractions throughout Walt Disney World property that you cannot just walk up to it and get in queue or get in line. That is not a thing for multiple rides. So you need to understand how the virtual queue works. Thankfully, the virtual queue is at no cost to you other than lack of sleep. So virtual queue is another one that you can wake up that morning at 6:50 something and then start set up all of your party in advance of who all is going. Like if you're booking for a group of 6, tag them all in the My Disney Experience app and then wait for it to refresh. And you say, go, because you don't want it to refresh and open up that virtual queue. And then you have to go and click you and your 5 other like merry friends. So, but there are, let's just highlight a couple. So Guardians of the Galaxy.
Let me add on to that real quick, Dave.
Please.
And it's a great update that Disney actually made. You no longer have to select your party. So the good news is, so say you have, as long as you're friends with them in your My Disney Experience app and you all have a reservation to the park where you're trying to make the virtual queue, it will automatically select everybody who's your friend. So I know that Matthew's done this for me a couple times. Like I've known he was here and I signed into the app and I'm like, oh, I have a Guardians. I'm in group 97. That's awesome. I didn't even know. Funny. And then I would just, jump in and go over to Epcot and ride it. So a great update by Disney. Gone are the days where you have to go in at like 6:55, select Dave and Rob and Brandon and Krista, and then wait to refresh. Now you just go in and automatically select your party.
That's a win. That's a big win. Thanks for that updated
awesome.
info.
Or you could have your cast member friend do it for you.
That's
Thank you.
I don't
That's how I got my Guardians.
Oh, nice. I was like, I don't know anybody that cool.
I don't know anybody with that kind of power, Rob.
Thanks, Nick.
I will say this. So let's pick the ones. So Guardians of the Galaxy, Rise of the Resistance, What else am I missing that there's no just go
Tron
and Tron? I think those are the big ones. Ratatouille, I still think you can stand in line, right?
Correct. Yeah. That has a standby queue. It
but-
also has a virtual queue, but it
Yeah.
also has a standby queue.
Yeah. So, but those three that we listed, I think don't wake up at 5:30, drive to Epcot and wait for the gate to open and sprint to Guardians of the Galaxy, because they're going to be like, so glad you're here and you can go grab breakfast somewhere and try to get in the virtual queue in an hour. So, and then that virtual queue is at 7 a.m. and then it repeats again at 1 p.m. if you did not get in. So that's also important to know. So 7 a.m. and 1 p.m. if you didn't get it. If you got in at 7 a.m., don't try to get it at 1. It doesn't even pop up. It's not even an
I didn't know that.
Not even an
Didn't know.
option.
Now, you could get a 7 a.m. Tron and a 1 p.m. Guardians. The caveat to the 1 p.m. queues is that you have to be in the park that the ride is in.
Which now you can, because of, like we said last episode, you can now park hop before 2 p.m.
Hoppity hop hop.
Yeah. I had an issue when I got my Guardians. I had a meeting in Universal and I was going to Epcot later that day. And mine, I got 11 o'clock. That's when they called my thing, 11. And, I think, Brandon, you can refresh, or Dave, like if you go later, they're pretty cool about letting you go. Like, hey, I was supposed to be here at 11, but now it's like 2. Is it all right? And they kind of let me go. So at the time, this was right when it opened, like the first month. So.
Guardians is still super cool. Tron is a little more strict because everyone wants to ride Tron at night because it's outside, the lights are on. So they're a little more strict. You have to get there within your hour time frame for Tron.
But maybe
usually if it's during the day and you're nice to the cast member and you're a little late, they'll probably let you on. But if you if you get called at 10 a.m. and you try to come at 7 p.m., you're not going to get on Tron. It's not going to happen. But Guardians, they're like, go on in.
Yeah, Rob, I mean, you should have totally pulled the card of like, hey, man, I had an 11 a.m., but I had a thing at Universal that they're paying me to be there. And then I wanted
They didn't like that. Yeah. Too
funny. So there you go. That's kind of how. And it is also worth noting, as we've talked about, hold on, I have to make sure this is not one of our things. No. All those ones that we mentioned, correct me if I'm wrong, Brandon, are also paid lightning lanes. So if you do not get the virtual queue, you can pay roughly the same price as the the Genie Plus lightning lane. But remember, it's for that single attraction to ride one time, where the lightning lane purchase through Disney Plus is that, am I saying that right? Is it lightning lane?
Genie Plus. No, Genie Plus allows you to get lightning lanes.
Okay.
And then there's individual lightning lanes, which are the purchased ones.
Yeah. So for example, you could potentially pay $25 for your lightning lane for the day for Magic Kingdom and Animal Kingdom, and have both if you're park hopping. But you could also pay $25 just to ride Tron. And as a reminder, this is per person. So I just want to let you know, if you didn't get, like, if you're going and Tron is a don't miss for you, like if you grew up like at an arcade like Finnegan's and you like, that's your favorite movie and you don't get it, it's probably going to be worth it for you to pay for it. So you'll have that option, but just remember that's per person in your party. And at $25 a person, or even $20 a person times 4, 6, 8, however many's in your crew, that can add up quickly, but it's all like, what is the value of that for you?
Yeah. So, don't they sell out really quick too? Like those?
Sometimes it depends. It's weird. Like it's just like the virtual queue. Like some days the 1 o'clock virtual queue is gone in 30 seconds. Some days for Guardians of the Galaxy at 6 p.m. you can still get in a virtual queue. So it's super weird. I know we went with some friends one time and we were like, let's just see if there's any individual lightning lanes left for Tron. And this was like, I don't know, it was like 2:30 in the afternoon, and there was one for like 7 o'clock. Wow. So it really depends on the day, and it depends on, I guess, who's feeling the Tron flow.
Yeah, that's true. We have 2 more, unless Brandon has some he wants to sprinkle in, because Brandon has his own great list.
I don't even know where that list went. I was so discouraged when you were like, I already did it, and I just erased it.
Man. It's in our text somewhere, so it's buried.
I'm pretty sure I deleted it.
Dang. that's middle fingers in the air. You're just like, all right, I'm not talking about it at all. I know some of them were attractions, but okay, last two. Again, these are in no particular order. These aren't the most important ones. These aren't exciting at all, I don't think. It's important to say this. I have been bit on this more than once, not a lot, but more than once. As soon as you know you're going, book it. I think that's a little bit less important as far as your park strategy is now, because reservations, if you're not an annual pass holder, are basically gone and done. So you're not going to have to worry about heavier times of the year running like, oh no, we booked our vacation and forgot to we booked our hotels and we didn't buy our tickets, and now there's like 4 days when we're not going to be there that aren't available. That part of it is gone, but there are, especially right now, a considerable amount of hotel discounts. So as soon as you know you're going, start looking and book it. And I would say, don't go in this and like a week from now and be like, Dave said there was a whole bunch of hotels. They could all be gone. Who knows? But I think it's worth saying that when you know, book it, because things happen quickly. I mean, we had we're staying at Pop next week, and we had the up to 35% off option for like hotels as a pass holder. And that's a great deal.
It's great.
What's crazy is there's a small allotment of it. Kind of like if you think of like Expedia and hotels.com and all those, like you can go get the major fancy hotels, but there may only be 50 of the 500 rooms that get sent to those. Yeah. So once those rooms are gone, they can't get any more. So same kind of thing. They only allot a certain amount. And so to me, if you see it and you know you can go, book it. And what was crazy was we could have got I always get this wrong. What's the mid tier of Disney hotels?
Moderate.
We could have got a moderate for $208 a night. But we weren't renting a car this time. And to me, the moderate or the deluxe bus service sucks, because it's like multiple bus stops and like, anyway, but it was a much nicer hotel. So we were super excited. But we got Pop, and I just paid there was a deal, something, and we got a preferred room, and it was still relatively inexpensive for
That's awesome.
Yeah,
Pop, I think so. Yeah,
and just
as soon as you know, book it, because so much stuff changes.
Yeah, just to piggyback on that too, there's still a lot of times during the year that there is stuff going on at Walt Disney World. So like right now, the cheerleading competitions are here. So if you're like, hey, I want to go to Disney in February, and you wait till the second week of January, you're going to be pretty limited in options, because the cheerleaders are everywhere. Mostly they take up the value resorts. So if you're one of the people like Dave and I who normally just book a value resort because all you do is sleep there, it's going to be hard for you to find one during some of the times a year. So absolutely, even though reservations and getting into the park is not a huge obstacle anymore, finding a place to stay for a reasonable amount may very well be.
And pay attention to places like us. I mean, I don't know that we always hit them, but like if there's a deal, we'll usually talk about it in a news segment. We'll usually bring it, especially like hotel deals. Like, I mean, I like to talk about that. And you see way more hotel deals now than anything else, because they're not discounting tickets anymore. That's not really a thing. I feel like the only time that comes out, and so you guys can correct me, is like really the only ones that gets deals now are like Florida residents. I feel like every time you pop, it's like, it's like get 5 days for the purchase of 4, right? It's those kind of things. That, and it's been a while since we talked. Maybe it'd be worthwhile doing another, like, what sites are worth buying ticket, what third-party sites are worth it and are trusted and valued, because there's still one right off 192 that's like $35 Disney tickets. Like, it's still there. How is that? I mean, do you have to sit through do they have to sit through a 3-week timeshare? Because $35 is insane. So yeah, we could give you some reputable ones for sure. Okay, rounding off my list of the end, the number one, I'm just kidding. We basically just covered it, and that is don't pay full price for hotel rooms. Mostly because not only does Disney do a lot of deals for them, but also there's several like third-party sites. Like I made a joke about hotels.com, Expedia.com, whatever. They will have an allotment of like Disney hotels. as long as they have and sold out of their allotment. Now, if it's popular times of the year, they will have. But I would say the number one place I have used them, I don't want to say countless times, but at least 15 times is Undercover Tourist. I swear by them. I bought Isaiah's tickets for his park hoppers that we're going. I've bought so many. And they'll do a deal like if you get tickets and even if you get a hotel, like if you buy anything from them and get a rental car, the rental car is drastically reduced. So I highly recommend Undercover Tourist, and it is absolutely a trusted resource. Now, got to be honest, back in the day, it was a tremendous deal off tickets. Now it's like you buy a multi-day ticket. Let's say you buy a 4-day park hopper, you save like $40 off gate price. It's not insane. It used to be like, holy crap, we saved $150 because you would buy 4 and you get a day free, and they were already like $50 less each. But like that's all gone now. You save, I mean, I don't want to say pennies on the dollar, but dollar on the hundreds. That's not really a phrase.
Yeah, I've tried because I did the same thing with another.
It is
site,
now.
Yeah.
It is now. Dollar on the hundreds.
You can save dollars on the hundreds. But yeah, we saved, I think, 40 something bucks on Isaiah's park hopper. This is our last year of buying kids price tickets, which again, it's not kids price tickets and adult. It's like $6 cheaper. So it's stupid.
It's $8 difference. Yeah.
It's a joke. All right. That is our crazy list of, if you're going in 2024, these are some key things you should know. Or as Rob said, the title of this week is What's in Store for 24 in Walt Disney World. I just happen to remember it.
Yes, that's it.
What's in store for 24 on the Disney tour in days of yore.
All right, let's see. Where's Brandon's list?
Let's see.
Put it in the notes.
No, the good news is, like, I guess great minds think alike, or great minds read the internet pretty similar, right? So most of my list was your list, so I don't feel quite as bad that you shut me down and threw my list to the curb. But mine was more excitement about, if you're really looking to go to Disney, if you've been to Disney recently and you're looking for new stuff, my advice would be wait till closer till the end of the year. This year to go to Disney. Sure. There's several cool things happening attraction wise that you may get to see that haven't been around. We talked about this last time. I think they're closing the Country Bears to refurbish that. There's a brand new Little Mermaid show coming to Hollywood Studios, which kind of excites me. I mean, anybody who knows me and has listened to this podcast for a while knows that the Little Mermaid is my favorite Disney movie. She's my favorite princess. So I'm super excited that she's getting a refurb. That sounds weird. She's getting an update. She's getting a new show. Like, I'm excited. Been
sitting there empty for a long time.
I'm excited about that. That theater is in prime real estate. And let's be honest, like towards the end of its run, the Voyage of the Little Mermaid was like,
it was such a short show, though.
It was
that was negative.
It was like everybody who couldn't fit into entertainment somewhere else at Disney was like, just put them in the Voyage of the Little Mermaid. Like, the last time I saw it, like Ariel, and this broke my heart, like Ariel was awful, and it ruined, like I was like, no. I'm never coming back to the show again. So I'm glad she's getting a refurb.
Yeah.
And then obviously the biggin fourth quarter 2024 in Disney lingo, Tiana's Bayou Adventure is coming. It's coming along. From everything that I've seen, it's coming along nicely. The outside is looking more and more bayou-like. There's a water tower up. There's characters going on the logs outside. So
it looks kind of like Disney Springs. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, it does kind of look. It kind of looks like, what's that restaurant? What's the place with the volcano? Rainforest Cafe.
We got to save that Rainforest.
The Rainforest Cafe of Magic Kingdom.
But I think it's going to be great.
It's going to be great. I think it's going to be fun.
I'm excited.
I'm just hurt a little by the Splash Mountain going away, but I know it'll be like and Dave might not agree with this. It'll be like Wishes to Happily Ever After for me. Like, we saw the second to last Wishes show, and I was like, man, really going to miss that show. I saw the second Happily Ever After show, and I was like, what's Wishes? I feel like it's going to be the same with Tiana's Bayou Adventure.
I hope so.
Yeah, you're way more optimistic than me. Good for you.
I hear Country Bears. By the way, Country Bears are jamming the shows in. Like they're like
200 shows
capacity every single show. It's so funny, and people are
200
like,
shows now. We're keeping the Magic Kingdom open 24 hours just to.
Is Krista going to go see it before it changed? I mean, because you said you were going to go ride your favorite, the Splash Mountain, and you never made it back.
I know. I never made it.
I
got to get Krista to Country.
Chris is probably like, I've seen it. It's fine.
She's like, we got to go see the Bear Bordello.
That's right. I will say though, as Brandon mentioned, why I didn't put any attractions in my list is because in typical Disney fashion, we don't know when they're going to open. And so like, if you're planning a summer vacation, I didn't want to be like, oh, get excited for all these new attractions coming, because I promise you all of the new maybe the Country Bears will be open by then because it's literally closing in January. So maybe by this summer it will be back. But again, I have no idea what they're
fourth quarter
doing. Oh, that's also
yeah. No, I would say fourth quarter if you're planning on seeing anything new and you have to go this year, make it the last 3 months of 2024.
Well, it's funny that you say fourth quarter because I immediately think of Hatbox Ghost. So if fourth quarter, that means Tiana's Bayou is going to open December 31st
at 11:58.
That's right, because it came the last day of November, right?
Yeah,
that's when Hatbox Ghost appeared, and they said end of November. They were not kidding. All right, is that our show? Is there anything else on your listy of lists that you wanted to?
That's all I got. Is that all you got, Rob? Do you have anything? Do you have anything exciting for the folk? I think that's it.
That was great.
This is great.
I'm excited for Dave. You know, it's just
I mean, I was just there in November. It's hard for me to be like, yeah, it's gonna be awesome. It's gonna be so new. I'm just like,
you're so jaded.
No, it's another memory with a different kid. That's what
he's been an annual pass holder for all of 2 months, and he's already like, yeah,
I'm out. Well, I mean, I think it's weird. Like we go as a family I don't know. We went last spring break, and before that we went 2017. I mean, so like we don't go as a thing a lot. So I love that this is like an opportunity we do like daddy daughter, daddy son trips, and so that's what I like about it. It's making great memories. Like I went a lot with Micaiah because Isaiah as a little was not a theme park kid. I like them now, but we took him in 2017, and Kim was like, I'm never coming back here again. She was absolutely miserable. So now he's 9. He's not 3. So I'm excited. I'm excited to. It's always fun.
He hasn't been there since he's 3.
No, that was the last time. No, that was the first time we took him as all 4 of us, because we took Micaiah at 3.5, and she that is her happy place. Disney she will not outgrow that place. She is super jealous. I'm like, sweetheart, we just went 2 months ago. Just for you. So yeah. But yeah, thanks. I mean, I'm excited. I don't mean to sound jaded. I don't ever take it for granted, but I love seeing it through each kid's eyes. Like that's what's fun about it, experiencing it, because they do the parks completely different. So
awesome. We'll enjoy it.
One day we may all be here together. One day.
Oh, you bet. I'm excited.
One day more.
Live ADP podcast from the castle stage.
Dun, 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 dun. All right, team. All right, this is good. This wraps up our January, our first month of our 3rd year in the can. We did it.
Wow, we did it.
All right. Until our next show, everyone. Bicycle.
Peace.
See you real soon.